What's up guys, Frozen Whispers here with my first ever Minecraft build tutorial. This video is for an 8-stall horse stable. Before we get started, let's take a look at what it's going to look like when it's finished. Alright, this is what the stable looks like in the default resource pack. When I originally built it, I built it in the Equanimity resource pack, which looks like this. And lastly, I know there's a lot of players out there who use the John Smith Legacy resource pack, so I'm going to go ahead and show you what it looks like in that as well. Alright, so before we get started, here's a list of all the materials you're going to need for this build, so feel free to pause the video while you go and collect all the materials you need, and then you can come back and we'll get started. Okay, so the horse stable is 19 by 25 blocks wide, including the roof overhang. If you're only counting where the blocks actually touch the ground, then it's 17 by 23 blocks wide. So I'm going to go ahead and fill up my inventory with the blocks I'm going to need. Okay, so we're going to start out with the oak logs. So we're going to start with making the corners like that, with the 2 logs diagonal to each other, with 2 diagonals to the corner. Okay, for the short side, we're going to do 3, 1, 2, 3, and then place another one. And then we'll have 5 in between here, which is what we want because that's the entrance. So 3 gap, 3 gap. Alright, and then on the long sides, we're going to put a 4 block gap between each block. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, and then we're going to make each of these 3 high. So then we're going to make an archway out of these, so we're just going to pile the blocks on top of each other until they meet. So inside and up, inside, up, inside. And then behind the archway, we're going to put a 2 block pillar, 2 block high pillar. Okay, and then lastly, with the oak logs, we're going to create a inside border. Yeah. On top of the border, we're going to put the green hardened clay. On the short sides, we're going to do a solid wall. And then on the long sides, we're going to leave, oops, got Okay, on the long sides, we're going to leave a 2-block gap in between each pillar. In those gaps, we're going to place fences. And then on top of it, including on top of this 2-high pillar on the inside, we're going to layer it with oak wood planks. Okay, now before we do any more on the outside, we're going to start working on the inside. So inside this 2-high pillar, place 1 oak block, and then leave a 2-block gap, and then we'll do 3, 2 gap, 3, 2 gap. So we're lining up, So we're lining up the oak planks with the 3 clay on the wall. And then in the middle of the 3-block line, we're going to put 2 blocks on top to make an upside down T. And then just leave the edges blank for now. Alright, and then on the remaining blocks, place 1 fence. And then on top of the fences, put 2 more oak blocks. Okay, and then inside this 1-block gap that we have in between each of the oak planks, place 1 glowstone. But then leave this one blank because we're going to be putting the roof there, so there isn't going to be room for another glowstone that far over. So we're just going to place 6 all together, and then in front of the glowstone we'll put a trapdoor. Okay, so behind the 3-block line, right in the middle, we're going to put oak planks in the floor. You kind of section off each area. These are going to be the horses' stalls. Okay, and then on top of those, put oak fences. And on top of that, oak slabs. So after that, we're going to leave a 1-block gap, so it's going to be half of the green block and half of the oak plank. So 1 block in total, and then we're going to put another line of slabs. So just at the top of the oak plank on the border. And we'll go ahead and put the oak planks on this outside part too. And on top of the oak slabs, we're going to put a line of oak planks. But leave the outside border the way it is because we're going to put stairs there. Okay, and then at the top of this bottom plank here, we're gonna connect each section with oak slabs. Okay, and then on top of those slabs, we're gonna put double chests. And then on top of the chest, we're going to put another layer of oak slabs. Okay, two really important things to be aware of with this part. The slabs have to end right at the edge of the last chest. It can't go over onto the plank next to it because that's where the roof is going to go. So just be sure to end it right at the edge of the last chest. And the other thing is that these have to be slabs, they can't be planks, because if they're planks, the chests won't open. Okay, so now that we've got most of the inside taken care of, let's go ahead and start working on the roof. So, gotta get some more stairs and some slabs. So we're gonna start building the roof at the archway with the dark oak stairs. So we're gonna put 2 at the bottom of the archway at the top of this pillar here. And we're gonna place 1 upside down. And we'll do that on the other side. And then on top of that, we're gonna do spruce stairs. And on top of that, another layer of dark oak stairs. And on top of that, another layer of spruce stairs. But we're not going to connect it here just yet. So now we have a base for what the roof is going to look like and what each layer is going to be. So we're going to start with the bottom layer with the dark oak stairs. So we're going to have this ring around. But then as soon as you get 1 past this pillar like so, you're going to put a plank behind it. And then you're going to do 2 slabs. And then around each pillar after that, you're going to have the stairs upside down. So 2 slabs and upside down. Two slabs upside down. 2 slabs. And then because we're on this outer part again, we're going to put a plank and then have them right side up again. Okay, so now for the other side. And then plank, 2 slabs, and then upside down. And then plank, and right side up. Okay, so for the next 3 levels of the roof, we're just going to have it go around and border what we've already done. So, just like this. And this is going to get pretty tedious, so I'm going to go ahead and speed it up. Okay, so now that we've got that finished, we're going to go ahead and fill in this gap here, which we're going to do with a dark oak plank in between the stairs, and then we're going to put a slab on top of it. And then with this gap behind it, we're going to just fill that in with slabs up to where the other stairs end, and we're going to put another plank behind it. Woo, sorry about that. Okay, so slabs, and then plank. And then we're going to do one more row of the dark oak stairs, connecting it to the blocks. Okay, so now that we've got that finished, we're going to switch back to the spruce, but we're going to do the next layer with slabs. And sorry about the lag, guys. This is way worse than it usually is. Hopefully next time I do a video, it won't be so bad. Okay, and then we're going to fill in the rest of it with the dark oak slabs above that. Alright, so there you have it. And then the last final touch to the roof, we're going to just fill in the top of the pillars with dark oak slabs. Or you can do it with spruce and just kind of have it look like it connects, which also looks nice. But my personal preference is the dark oak slabs, so that's totally up to you. Okay, so the outside is pretty much finished. Let's go ahead and head back inside and finish that off. So inside, we're going to take the dark oak slabs and do one layer here. So one layer above the oak slabs at the top of these blocks here. Okay, and then above that layer, we're going to do a layer of spruce. So just one diagonal up from it. And then we're going to fill in the middle one with the dark oak slabs. And to fill in this weird gap here, we'll just put one more slab. Okay, and then inside the stalls, we're going to fill the top with dark oak slabs. Okay, so then we need some oak gates. We're just going to put 2 at the entrance of each stall. And then we need some oak fences at the entrances. You can leave this open if you want to. I usually just put a couple fences. And you can't put a gate there, but keep in mind that if you put a gate there, then horses won't be able to get through. And they should be able to get through here since it's a little bit more room than just a single block. Alright, so we're almost finished. Now we just need to finish off the floor. So we gotta get some hay bales, then we'll use dark oak planks and spruce planks. So for the horse stalls, we'll just fill the floor with hay, including the 2 under the gates. And with the way hay works, it looks different depending on what angle it is placed at, so make sure that you click on the ground instead of the side so that it doesn't show the wire that's wrapped around it. And I'll go ahead and speed this up while I fill in the rest of the stalls. Okay, and then the last thing is the floor, which if you're looking for more of a rustic style, like maybe if you're using the John Smith resource pack, you might want to just leave this the way it is, because normally it would be grass, except for I'd switch it to sand just so that it would stand out a little bit more while I was building. But I personally like to put in a floor, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. So, just real quickly here, I'll clear out this floor. Okay, so we're going to start by outlining the floor with dark oak planks. And then go ahead and remove the ones in front of the stalls, because we're going to put something else there. As well as the block in front of the entrance. Okay, and then the next layer we're going to do is of the spruce. And we're going to fill in those blocks that we just removed, and then do another layer with the spruce. And then in this middle section here, we'll just fill that in with the dark oak planks. Okay, and then in this middle section, we're just gonna put a few more spruce just in this section where the 3 are on the outside. So now it looks like that. You can replace these on the corners if you want to. It looks kind of nice, but it's up to you if you want to keep it solid or not. I prefer it solid, but either way looks nice. Okay, and then the last thing we're going to do is put some torches. So it's pretty bright in here. If you want to brighten it up a little bit, you can put some more torches, but it's kind of unnecessary. Or you can put some kind of glowstone up here if you wanted to. But again, it's the glowstone that's in there already brightens it up pretty good, so it's not really necessary unless you want it to be super bright. You can also put some glowstone up there if you wanted to. But yeah, it's pretty bright on the inside. However, the outside is still pretty dark because we don't have any lights out there. So just on each of the pillars, 2 up, we're going to put a torch. And that brightens it up real nice for when the sun goes down. I'd also put one up there if you want to. Then we'll just stick some horses in here. Okay, now that it's night out, you can see how much that brightens up the outside. Alright, and I think that's everything. thank you so much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video or liked my build, don't forget to subscribe. I do have some plans for some future builds, so keep an eye out for those. I will, however, be taking requests, so if you have any, or if you have any comments or suggestions, feel free to leave them in the comments. And I hope you all have a great day. Thanks for watching.